In line with its mandate, the Council of Governors will be conducting a 3-day induction workshop for governors and deputy governors from 14th to 17th September 2022 at Pride in Paradise, Mombasa. The induction seeks to build capacity of the newly elected county leadership and to sensitize county officials in the functions of the county governments, apprise them of the achievements and challenges as well as emerging issues affecting optimal functioning of county government. It is envisaged that the induction will facilitate a smooth transition, stability and continued service delivery across the 47 counties. Tune in to KBC Channel 1 for the live broadcast.
Kwenye mkulima tutaangazia matunda yaliyoadimika.
Pengine hii mimea inaweza kuwa na ugonjwa ambaye inakuja inazuia mimea vile inakuwa kubwa, ama inaweza kuleta hata ugonjwa mwingine ambayo kama hizi wanaita aflatoxin. Ndio hiyo mmea haitakusaidia kwa afya, inakupatia ugonjwa kama kansa.
Kisha tuzingatie upanzi wa pojo.
Uzuri wa ndengu iko na kila kitu. Na ukivanda kama ni mahindi ukianguka, hutapata ndengu na hutapata kitu.
Ungana nasi Jumapili saa 9:30 hapa KBC.
Ili kupata skiza tune hii ya jogging kwa simu yako, bonyeza *811 *758 hash.
Good morning, class.
Good morning, Mr. Kipto.
Now I want to write a composition using the word jogging.
Teacher, please give us spelling for the word jogging.
Sijasema jog ile jog ya kunyongwa. Hapana. Ninasema jogging. Na sijasema jog ile nye unasema jog ya kukimbia ya marathon ama ile jog ingine ile jog ya television ya kucheka. Sijasema hiyo jogging. Na maanisha jogging ya brain ile kukimbiza akili cha changamoto. That a composition using the word jogging.
Ili kupata skiza tune hii, bonyeza *811 *758 hash *811 *758 hash.
It is indeed the 17th day of September 2022. Good afternoon. This is the great KBC and this is KBC Lunchtime News. Glad you could make the time. We have a comprehensive news lined up here for you. We're keeping a keen eye on the governor's induction in Mombasa and also the Kenya Kwanza Parliamentary Group meeting in Naivasha. These among other stories. My name is Njue. Welcome. Susan Thuku is my colleague on the sign language interpretation. You can find her at the bottom right of your screen. And first things first, let's cross over to the coastal city of Mombasa, where the governor's induction workshop is currently taking place. And we have Mike Mwadiga, who has been keeping a keen eye since the induction started and brings us this report. Good afternoon, Mwadiga.
Well, a very good afternoon to you, Njue. Of course, it is the third day of the Governor's Council induction workshop, and today is the third day. And they have been taken through several things. And among them today is appraisal of the incoming governors and their deputies on different matters in the aspects of management of county public service. They have also been taken through performance and result-based management. They have also been taken through different skills in their working, especially diplomacy, negotiation, communication, emotional and social intelligence. But currently the county chiefs are being held up in a closed session. Of course, we are anticipating they are choosing the council leaders, and we're expecting when they come out, they'll be updating us on who is the new chair of the Council of Governors and the deputy, and of course the heads of different committees. So currently that's what is going on, and we're expecting when they come come back, they'll be updating us on what is happening. So today is the third day, and currently we are all waiting for that. And today will be the last day. And when they walk out of here, of course, the nation will be knowing that who heads what committee in the Council of Governors. And this comes at the backdrop where the Deputy President said that the government is committed to ensure that we realize the devolution. And he categorically stated that devolution will be realized when there is seamless service delivery to the electorate, saying that time for politics is over and now it is time to work and make sure that electorates gets to get best of it and know that their constitutional right, which they are exercised on 9th of August, is coming into play. So far, that's what we have for now. And back to you, Ben Troy.
Thank you, my colleague Mike, down at the coastal city of Mombasa. And in the Council of Governors today, we are waiting to know exactly who will be the chairperson of the Council of Governors. Two names have been fronted: Kenya Kwanza fronting Kirinyaga County Governor Anne Waiguru, and the Azimio Brigade fronting Kajiado Governor Joseph Ole Lenku. Incidentally, both of them have also served as cabinet CSs. But away from what is happening in Mombasa, let's now cross over to Vasha, where Kenya Kwanza is having their parliamentary group meeting in line and in preparations to know who now will be the majority leader in both houses. JJ, I can see you. Good afternoon. What's happening there?
Thank you very much, Ben Troy. We're live from Naivasha, as you rightly pointed out, the Kenya Kwanza retreat happening right here in Naivasha. And your prediction is also right, that this afternoon we will know who will constitute the majority leadership in the National Assembly and Senate. Remember, this meeting is being led by President William Ruto, who's been here since yesterday, leading his troops in terms of negotiations. You will remember yesterday there was a conversation around housing and, creating the legal framework to support the 250,000 units annually by the president, and also the legal framework around restructuring NHIF and making healthcare accessible. Much of a conversation this morning is about the leadership of both houses of parliament. You're looking at the National Assembly and the Senate, and probably what will interest you is that the member of parliament for Kikuyu, Kimani Ichung'wah, is emerging the favorite for majority leader in the National Assembly. But of course that will be revealed once they do their meeting, because in an hour or so we expect a press conference that will be held by President William Ruto and his troops, and indeed to confirm who will be occupying the positions of leadership in the National Assembly. And we talk about the positions of leadership. You're looking at majority leader, the majority whip, their deputies, and you're also looking at very critical committees that will be occupied by government luminaries. And you remember yesterday, because there's been a legal question on who really is the majority, particularly in the National Assembly, owing to the fact that the Registrar of Political Parties says it is Azimio based on the numbers that they had at the formation of the party. The parties that signed under the Azimio One Kenya Coalition Party, and probably looking at those numbers, then you would argue that Azimio has the numbers. But indeed, the president yesterday said that is far from the truth, because the actual truth is that Kenya Kwanza have the majority, obviously owing to the fact that Maendeleo Chap PA, you will remember UDM has also joined in, and several other parties that have joined in the Kenya Kwanza alliance, and that makes their numbers bigger. But at the end of the day, the question will boil down to the Speaker of the National Assembly, who will have to make this decision. The registered political parties can probably advise the National Assembly in terms of how or who is the majority in both houses, but it boils down to the Speaker to make a ruling on who is majority. And probably you would guess how this direction will go, bearing in mind who is a Speaker of the National Assembly, who is a Speaker of the Senate, and the process that led to them occupying those positions. It's being fronted by the Kenya Kwanza Alliance, and they got huge numbers to become Speaker. So that confirms to you, when it boils down to the Speaker making a ruling on who will be the majority, or which coalition will be the majority, you can guess how that will go. And therefore then, this afternoon, what we expect is to hear from the President on who is going to lead where, and who will be their deputies, and what critical committees again or how the critical committees will be divided amongst members. What you remember, Ben Troy, as I hand it back to you, there are two critical committees that cannot be occupied by government-leaning members of parliament, and that's the Public Accounts Committee and the Public Investment Committee. Those committees, by order, are reserved for the opposition to check government, because that's why, you know, every investment done by government must go through the Public Investment Committee, and every accounts of government must go through the Public Accounts Committee. So those committees will be reserved for the opposition. Something that the President said yesterday, obviously, and he will be talking on to his members to be keen on that, is the amendment of standing orders to allow cabinet secretaries now to be answerable to Parliament, so much in the sense that that they will be coming to the floor of the House to answer questions posed by members of Parliament and respond to them, and effectively so. But what we expect this afternoon is a revelation of who will consist the majority or who will take up the leadership positions that are available in Parliament in terms of majority leader, deputy majority leader, majority whip, deputy majority whip. I'll take it back to you, Ben Troy. Once the President is out and done with the members of Parliament and the press conference is ready, obviously we'll be linking up. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, JJ Kyoria, live from Naivasha. And it will be interesting to get the constitutional interpretation in regards to the leadership of the two houses as soon as Parliament reconvenes. Azimio having the numbers on paper, but Kenya Kwanza having the numbers in terms of lobbying. Well, we will see what will pan out. Thank you so much, JJ. Of course, in our subsequent bulletin, and as soon as we have the President himself speaking, we'll be crossing over to Naivasha for a more comprehensive report on the same. Now let's move on. Bishop Paul Njenga Mbogwa of Gidima Israel Gospel Church has called on the former Prime Minister Raila Odinga to accept the outcome of the just concluded polls. He asked Raila to work with the Ruto-led government in order to initiate policies that would help turn around the economy and alleviate the suffering of Kenyans. Bishop Njenga noted that the Supreme Court pronounced itself and upheld President Ruto's election, and the democratic thing to do would be to accept the outcome and let Kenyans move forward.
Sasa tunaomba mheshimiwa Raila Amolo Odinga, tunamuomba tu kama mabishop ama wachungaji ama kama kanisa, tunamuomba tu ashikamane na serikali ambaye imekuwa kwa sasa, ya serikali ambaye imechaguliwa wakati huu, ili waweze kusemezana ili wasirudishe katika nchi yetu kwenye hatari.
Residents of Kiome Dana ward in Mwingi's West Constituency, Kitui County, are calling on the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, IEBC, to announce the area's election date. The member of the county assembly election was postponed indefinitely in the area following the death of a duly cleared aspirant in a fatal road accident.
As elected leaders across the country are busy settling from the heated campaigns which culminated in August 9th general elections, in Kiome Thana ward in Mwingi West Constituency, Kitui County, things are different. Campaigns are still ongoing. This is after the member of county assembly elections were postponed indefinitely in the area following the death of one of the aspirants in a fatal road accident. The election, which brought together 10 aspirants from across the ward, has left residents anxiously waiting for the new date of the election so that they can elect the leader of choice.
I feel so disappointed as it is now, because we understand that on this coming Wednesday, there is going to be the other MCRs are going to be sworn in. While we remain here, we have not done any elections, and we are afraid that whatever is going to happen in our county, we are lagging behind.
Wananchi wanauliza ni lini? Wananchi wanalia. Wananchi wanataka tufanye uchaguzi ndio hata wao wajisikie wako Kenya. Tukiwa hatunjafanya uchaguzi, wanakiondoa dhana, wanasema tuko Kitui ama tuko wapi. Kwa hivyo IEBC na bwana Chebukati, sasa tunaona hata kazi ile ilikuwa ngumu imeisha. Fanya haraka tupatie siku ya uchaguzi.
Residents are now calling on the IEBC to swiftly set the election date in fear that they may lag behind in the development since other elected members of County Assembly are set to be sworn in next week.
As the citizens of this ward, we want to do our elections and forget about it so that we can get to other businesses. The delay is killing our spirits. The delay is killing the dreams of Kyomedan Award. So IEBC, please, we appeal to you. Give us a date for elections for Kyomedan Award.
The locals claim that the delays in the polls has caused unwarranted anxiety among residents as well as stretching the budgets of the aspirants.
And keeping up with the recent fuel review, Ibisil Town, motorists and border riders are crying foul of what they have termed as exorbitant petrol prices. The price of the commodity is retailing at 250 shillings per litre, with the number of petrol stations lacking the important commodity.
Kenyans are already feeling the pinch from hiked fuel prices to scarcity of the commodity. Most petrol stations in the busy Ibisil town along Namanga Road have run out of stock, with the little petrol available retailing at 250 shillings per litre. Motorists and border riders have been scrambling for petrol, with some carrying it using jerrycans. When we conducted a spot check, consumers were not allowed to buy more than 10 litres to allow the attendant serve more people. A similar situation was replicated at Mailitisa and Katatoek towns along Namanga Road. Being a major livestock market day, most people spent the night in the town, as most pickups and motorcycles which usually ferry them to their respective homes ran out of gas.
Na kuna hii petroli moja peke yake, hizo zingine zimeisha kabisa, na unaona hii jam na hao watu wanategemea tupeleke porini, inabidi walale wote huko kwa sababu hakuna mafuta.
Inabidi tulale diesel na tujui mahali ya kulala, hakuna pikipiki inaenda, hakuna magari inaenda. Kwa hivyo tunaomba mheshimiwa wetu Ruto ambaye tumekuchagua juzi, tafadhali utuangalilie.
In Kiambu County, matatu owners plying the Thika route to various parts of central Kenya have announced fare hike by 30%. Mount Kenya Matatu Owners Association Chairman Micah Kariuki said the increase was necessitated by the latest increase in fuel prices, which has seen operators making losses.
The buses will charge between 80 and 100 shillings with immediate effect, and we call them Nissans, but the small vans will charge 130 Nairobi to Thika.
Because if you consider that a vehicle that consumes 60 litres to 65 litres with an increment of 25 shillings, then we are going at a loss of more than 1,000 shillings, 1,700 shillings. And that's basically the reason as to why we've agreed to adjust our fares upward with just a very small margin.
I request our passengers countrywide to bear with us during this difficult time, because it's not only touching on Thika or Nairobi or Mount Kenya region, but the entire country.
Nancy Okware, Lunchtime News.
And now to something that has exacerbated the fuel crisis in the country. The National Drought and Management Authority has called for immediate interventions to curb the increasing number of malnutrition cases among children below 6 years and lactating mothers in arid and semi-arid areas. In its latest report, the authority says over 72,000 households in Kilifi are in dire need of food relief due to worsening household food crisis following the current drought in the country.
During a drought mitigation conference in Kilifi, the authority revealed plans to scale up responses and intervention in targeted and critical areas. According to the authority, 3 counties of Laikipia, Tharaka Nithi and Tana River have also moved from the drought alarm stage to the alert stage. The 3 counties have since joined Isiolo, Mandera, Garissa, Turkana, Wajir, Samburu and Marsabit, bringing the number of counties in the alarm stage to 10.
Walioathirika katika county
ni sehemu fulani ya county ya around 72,000 people. Sasa ile process ya cash transfer tushirikiane pamoja wadau wote ili kila mtu aweze kufaidika na huu mradi. Kwa sababu ikiwa hakuna ushirikiano, utakuta mradi mmoja unaenda bamba, mwingine unaenda bamba, mwingine unaenda bamba, sehemu nyingine zinawachwa. Lakini tukiwa na ushirikiano, tunafikia sehemu ambapo kila mwananchi anafaidika.
However, Baringo, West Pokot and Lamu are in the normal drought phase, a situation attributed to the moderate off-season rains.
We are currently also set up a nutrition-based program also for the drought response in Kilifi, which will be based on nutritious products such as RUSFs. So this is also the plan. So a combination of starting with cash transfers and some nutrition products as well.
Meanwhile, Isiolo Livestock Market Chairperson Abdi Halaki Fayo has urged the county government and the national government to move with speed and initiate programs that will cushion the local population from the effects of drought.
Mfuko bei yake sasa nasimama shilingi 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, 6,000. Hata hiyo hakuna mtu ananunua. Wale wanatoka Nyanyuki, Kirinyaga, Nyeri, Kiambu, Mudara, pande ya Tigania East. Wakibeba hiyo ng'ombe barabarani, hiyo ng'ombe yote nakufa. Hakuna ng'ombe yote watu naweza kununua.
Around 28,000 households that require food assistance, cash transfers and other interventions.
Tunakaa MTV, tunataka usaidizi kwa serikali kwa namna yoyote. Ndio watu iko na njaa ya kutosha. Hiyo ndio mimi nasema. Bei ya mbuzi ni shilingi 2,500, makondo ile kondo hakuna mtu ananunua.
At least 60% of animals across the county are affected and are in dire need of nutritional supplements to improve their body condition and help them overcome the drought challenge. For Lunchtime News, I'm Gladys Mungai.
Moving on, the Kenya Wildlife Service has discovered a carcass of an endangered hawksbill turtle at the shores of the Indian Ocean after it allegedly consumed plastics by the beachline. According to the KWS, the hawksbill turtles rely on mostly jellyfish for food, which it frequently mistakes it with white plastic bottles, which in return causes suffocation.
Conservationists in Malindi, Kilifi County are raising concerns over poor disposals of plastics along the beach lines after the carcass of an endangered hawksbill turtle was discovered at the shores of the Indian Ocean. According to the environmentalists, the plastics are poisonous to the sea life, more so the endangered hawksbill turtles. Kenya Wildlife Service Senior Sergeant Abu Bocha said the turtle might have died from suffocation after consuming littered plastics.
Plastics are eaten by the turtles also. Those white plastics, the turtles think that it's a jellyfish. Special hawksbill feed on jellyfishes. So when they see those plastics, they think that it's a jellyfish. So when they eat it, it expands in the stomach. And finally, it kills, it suffocates and makes death. And it has been washed away by the water to the shore.
Bocha says the public should support conservationists in keeping the Kenyan beaches clean for the survival of marine life.
It's very important for everybody to handle his or her plastics, to keep them in a safer place, to save the life of the endangered species that we have. And in fact, these species are very few in the world, and there's a need of us to conserve them.
The hawksbills are named for their narrow pointed beak. They also have distinctive pattern of overlapping scales on their shells that form a serrated look on the edges. These colored and patterned shells make them highly valuable and commonly sold as tortoise shells in markets. The hawksbills are found mainly throughout the world's tropical oceans, predominantly in coral reefs. They feed mainly on spawns by using their narrow pointed beaks to extract them from crevices on the reef, but also eat sea anemones and jellyfish. The turtles are the living representatives of a group of reptiles that has existed on Earth and traveled for allegedly the last 100 million years. Conservationists under the umbrella of Progress Welfare Association of Malindi have committed to monthly cleanups of the beach lines for the safety of the animals. Irene Mchuma Udim, the Lunchtime News.
Elsewhere, residents of Navaholo constituency in Kakamega County have decried the poor state of roads in the area. The angry residents took to the streets calling on the area leadership to intervene and ensure the roads are fully rehabilitated.
In the peaceful protest, the Shiranyanga residents marched through the affected Navaholo constituency roads. The locals claimed that the road has been in a deplorable state for the last 30 years.
Tumesumbukana miaka na miaka kwa hii njia. Watu wanaanguka, watu wanafanya nini? Tena sasa hata ukipanda pikipiki mafuta inaishia hapa. Mafuta yenyewe ndio hiyo imepanda. Sasa uchumi hatujui inatupeleka wapi. Na hii shida ya barabara.
Na sasa hii miaka yote na hii barabara haijaitengenezwa tangu Kulundu. Barabara haijaitengenezwa.
Traders at Bushiri Market said the poor state of the access road to the market has tremendously affected their businesses.
Kutoka Navaholo kwenda Kakamega ni mbovu. Biashara yetu kama sisi potapota ni biashara ya potapota. Lakini imechukua masaa matatu kutoka Navaholo kufika hapa Ingoze.
Hizi leo biashara iko Bushiri, watu wanaenda Bushiri kwa kufanya biashara, lakini kuna wengine wamegwama. Hawezi enda, hata lori ndio hii imegwama, haiwezi enda Bushiri. So biashara imegwama leo.
Ukweli tunasumbukana. Hii njia ni chafu na tunalia wamama, tuna biashara, hatuwezi kutembea kwa hii barabara.
The residents now want Emmanuel Wango, their member of parliament, to collaborate with the national government to ensure the roads are rehabilitated.
Kwa hivyo tunaomba serikali yetu mpya hii wajaribu sana watutengenezee kwa hii barabara ya kwenda Navaholo sana sana hapa Ingoze.
Tunaomba mheshimiwa rais mwenye ako mamlakani kwa sasa atushughulikie hii barabara kupitia kwa MP wetu Wangwe.
Trevor Ngendo for Lunchtime News.
Let's shift focus now to matters politics, where a section of political leaders and residents from Malindi constituency, Kilifi County, have called on the UDA administration to fulfill the election promises it made during the campaigns. Resettling of squatters, job creation and revival of the tourism sector are some of the promises the leaders are hoping the incoming government will work on. The leaders, led by Kilifi County Jubilee Party Chairman Alwi Sharif, said despite the political differences, they will support Ruto's administration in all means so as to revive the economy in the area, which has a huge reliance on the tourism and hospitality sector. They lauded Ruto's vision for the future of the country and urged the national government to sort out the land issue, which will help in lowering poverty levels.
Samoei Ruto, rais wetu wa Kenya, tunakuunga mkono kwa jambo lolote lile la haki ambalo tulifanya kwetu sisi wa Kenya, na especially Waislamu wa Malindi. Waislamu wa Malindi tumesafa sana. Waislamu wa Malindi wanategemea uchumi wa bahari. Waislamu wa Malindi hawana kazi nyingine. Industries zote za Kenya ziko bara. Imagine Kenya, Malindi sub county haina hata uwanja mmoja wa mpira. Kwa hivyo tuwaomba haya yote uyazingatie. Serikali kama vile inavyofanyia mpango mambo ya youth, basi hakikishe pia Malindi wamepangiwa, watu wa mkono wamepangiwa, na maisha watu wa Malindi yaende vizuri kama maeneo mengine.
Let's now shift focus to matter sports, and Fulham scored 3 goals in 6 minutes to beat Nottingham Forest 3-2 in one of the 2 English Premier League matches played last night. Today, Manchester City will be aiming to leapfrog league leaders Arsenal when they play Wolves in one of the 3 fixtures on the card.
At Villa Park, Jacob Ramsey scored the only goal as Aston Villa beat Southampton to secure their second league win of the season.